For the past 72 hours, sleep has been nothing more than a distant memory. I have been staring into a reality so profound, so shattering, that it has dismantled every belief I once held about our place in the cosmos. We have spent centuries gazing at the stars, wondering if we were alone, or if perhaps, somewhere in the vast silent void, a neighbor was looking back. But the truth is far more unsettling than mere solitude. NASA and several high-level global agencies are currently tracking something that defies every known law of physics, an entity that has turned our scientific models into obsolete theories. Just 3 days ago, during the quietest hours of the night, something shifted. An interstellar visitor, designated as 3I Atlas, entered our solar system. At first, it was thought to be another Oumuamua, a stray rock or a wandering comet. But this was no accident of nature. It did something no natural object could ever do. It began transmitting not just radio noise or static, but structured, high-definition, visual information. It wasn't a signal seeking a response. It was a deliberate message, a declaration that our period of isolation has come to an end and our time of judgment has begun. I remember the moment Dr. Sarah Chen called me. As a leading astrophysicist for the Deep Space Network, she has seen it all. But her voice carried a tremor I had never heard in 30 years of collaboration. She spoke only 5 words that chilled me to the bone. It is showing us ourselves. And following that call, a classified video conference was convened, bringing together minds from NASA, the ESA, and agencies whose names are never spoken in public. What we witnessed in that briefing room was not just data, it was a mirror held up to the face of humanity, reflecting a reality that felt like a living nightmare. The first image to flicker across the screen was Earth, but this was not the Earth we see from our satellites or the International Space Station. The level of detail was impossible. You could see individual buildings, the glint of every satellite in orbit, even the wake of ships on the ocean. The terrifying part was the data attached to the image. It had been captured from a distance of 47 light years away, yet the image showed Earth as it was only 6 months ago. This means that whatever sent Atlas has the technology to bypass the limitations of light speed as we understand it. They have been watching us from nearly 50 light years away with such precision that they could see into our very homes. Atlas wasn't a visitor. It was a delivery mechanism for a message that had been prepared long before it arrived. As the briefing continued, a second image appeared that paralyzed the room. It showed our entire solar system, but it was encased within a gargantuan, translucent sphere. This structure, which we are calling the cosmic quarantine, exists in a quantum state that renders it invisible to our current telescopes. We have been living in a celestial cage without ever knowing the bars were there. Our technology was simply too primitive to detect the boundary. We weren't just alone, we were being kept separate, isolated from a galactic community that has been observing us like a laboratory experiment. Then came the third transmission, a staggering timeline of the universe spanning over 3 billion years. It was a ledger of life and death on a galactic scale. We saw the rise and fall of thousands of civilizations. They didn't die out from natural disasters or resource depletion. They were systematically erased. It looked like a gardener pruning a hedge, cutting away the branches that grew too fast. Or too wildly, humanity was there, marked on that timeline with a pulsing crimson light. It was a mark of a species under review. We weren't being welcomed, we were being audited. The reason for this audit became clear in the fourth transmission. It focused entirely on our development of artificial intelligence and quantum computing. It showed not just the AI we use for search engines or art, but the classified military projects and the deep learning systems that are still decades away from public knowledge. The message was silent but clear. Our technological power has far outpaced our collective wisdom. In the eyes of the watchers, when a species gains the power to destroy worlds before it learns how to govern its own heart, the cosmic order must intervene. The fifth transmission was perhaps the most haunting. It was a collage of thousands of human faces, scientists, world leaders, children, and laborers. All of them had their eyes closed, as if in a deep collective trance. It was a symbolic representation of our state of consciousness to the entities behind Atlas. We are a species of sleepwalkers, stumbling toward a precipice with our eyes shut tight. One high-ranking official in the room whispered, "We always feared that. Finding aliens would cause panic, but the real terror is realizing that we are the threat and the universe is trying to contain." The transmissions then presented us with a binary choice, a final ultimatum for the human race. The first path was one of monitored preservation. We would be required to dismantle our most advanced AI and cease our outward expansion. We would live on as a protected, monitored species, essentially, a cosmic daycare. We would survive, but we would lose our autonomy and our potential to ever become a primary galactic power. We would be safe, but we would be stagnant. The second path was the Great Transformation. It involved a fundamental shift in human consciousness, a leap into a quantum existence where we move beyond our physical bodies and integrate with the fabric of the universe itself. However, the data provided with this option was grim. The probability of a successful transition for a species as fractured as ours was estimated at a mere 3%. The remaining 97% lead to total biological and digital extinction. They weren't giving us a gift, they were giving us a gamble with impossible stakes. Now, as I write this, Atlas is drawing closer. It ignores the laws of Newtonian physics, moving through the vacuum of space with the fluid grace of a predator. NASA predicts it will reach its closest point to Earth within the next few months. Strange phenomena are already being reported across the globe. Compasses are spinning aimlessly. Migratory birds are losing their way, and a strange rhythmic hum is being detected in the bedrock of every continent. Most unsettling of all are the reports of the shared dream, millions of people waking up with the exact same memory of a silent silver star descending from a dark sky. We are standing at the final frontier of the human story. This is the exam we never studied for, presided over by teachers we have never met. Will they judge us by our capacity for love, our art, and our music? Or will they see only our wars, our greed, and the scars we have carved into our planet? If you were the guardian of the stars, looking down at a species that possesses the keys to the universe but still kills over borders and beliefs, what would your verdict be? Would you trust the 3% chance of a miracle, or would you prune the branch for the safety of the garden? The silence of the cosmos has been broken, and the answer is not what we expected. We are not the heroes of this story. We are a variable in a cosmic equation that is about to be solved. As Atlas looms larger in our night sky, we must decide who we are and what we are willing to sacrifice. The time for sleep is over. The watchers are here, the audit is ending, and the final judgment is about to be delivered.